Life has a way of shaking us. We face seasons of uncertainty, financial troubles, broken relationships, health struggles, or simply the weight of the unknown. It's easy to feel overwhelmed, to wonder if we'll ever find solid ground again. Instability can make us anxious, restless, and even fearful of what tomorrow may bring. But there is a way to rise above the chaos, to find a peace that doesn't depend on circumstances, a peace that is steady, unshaken, and deeply rooted. Today, I want to share with you not just encouragement, but real practical steps to help you overcome instability and step into a life of lasting peace. No matter what storm you're facing, there is a way to stand firm. Let's dive in. Instability is something we all experience at different points in life, yet few take the time to truly understand its root causes. We often feel shaken when unexpected circumstances arise, financial hardship, personal loss, uncertainty about the future, or even an internal battle with self-doubt. But if we take a closer look, we'll find that instability doesn't begin with the situation itself. Rather, it begins with how we perceive and respond to it. Many times, instability is born out of fear. Fear of losing control, fear of failure, or fear of the unknown. Fear has a way of clouding our judgment, making problems seem larger than they are, and pulling our focus away from the things that truly matter. When fear takes hold, we become restless, anxious, and desperate for quick solutions. We try to force outcomes, make hasty decisions, or depend on things that were never meant to sustain us. And when those things fail us, the instability grows even deeper. Another major root of instability is misplaced security. Too often we build our sense of stability on things that are temporary: money, status, relationships, achievements, or even our own abilities. While these things may offer a sense of comfort for a time, they are not permanent. Markets crash, jobs are lost, people change, and life doesn't always go according to plan. If our security is tied to something that can be taken away, then we will always live in fear of losing it. This kind of instability keeps us constantly striving, always searching for something more, yet never truly at rest. For some, instability stems from a lack of direction. When we don't have a clear sense of purpose, or when we feel disconnected from our values, we tend to drift through life without a firm foundation. We try to find fulfillment in temporary pleasures or distractions, but deep down we feel unsettled. Without a guiding purpose, we are easily swayed by the opinions of others, the pressures of society, or the ever-changing circumstances around us. This instability can lead to a life of confusion, where decisions are made based on impulse rather than conviction. Past wounds and unresolved emotions can also be a source of instability. If we carry the weight of past failures, betrayals, or disappointments, they can shape how we approach the present. We may find ourselves reacting out of past pain rather than responding with wisdom and clarity. Old wounds can create a deep sense of insecurity, making it difficult to trust, to take risks, or to believe that better days are ahead. Until we confront these wounds and allow true healing to take place, they will continue to influence our sense of stability. Additionally, instability often grows when we try to handle everything on our own. We live in a world that teaches self-reliance, telling us that we must figure everything out by ourselves. While independence can be valuable, there are moments in life when we are simply not meant to carry the weight alone. When we refuse to seek wisdom, guidance, or support, we place an unnecessary burden on ourselves, and the heavier the burden becomes, the more unstable we feel. It's also important to recognize how distractions contribute to instability. In today's fast-paced world, we are constantly bombarded with noise. Social media, news, endless streams of information, all competing for our attention. This constant input can leave us feeling mentally and emotionally scattered, making it difficult to focus on what truly matters. When our minds are overwhelmed, we lose clarity, and when clarity is lost, instability follows. Recognizing the root of instability requires honest self-reflection. It's not always easy to acknowledge where our fears, misplaced security, or distractions come from, but without this understanding, we will continue to repeat the same cycles. By identifying the real causes of instability, we can begin to take steps toward a more peaceful and steadfast life. Faith is one of the most powerful forces in life. It has the ability to calm the restless heart, bring light into the darkest moments, and provide a firm foundation when everything around us seems to be falling apart. When we talk about unshakable faith, we are not simply referring to a vague hope or wishful thinking. Unshakable faith is a deep, unwavering trust in something greater than ourselves, a trust that holds firm no matter what trials we face. It is the anchor that keeps us steady in the midst of life's storms. One of the reasons faith is so powerful is that it shifts our focus away from fear. Fear is one of the greatest sources of instability, making us doubt, worry, and second-guess every decision. But faith and fear cannot occupy the same space. When we cultivate unshakable faith, we train our minds to focus not on the obstacles before us, but on the one who is greater than those obstacles. Instead of allowing fear to control us, we learn to trust that there is a purpose even in our struggles, that no challenge is beyond overcoming, and that we are never alone in our battles. Faith also provides a sense of certainty in an uncertain world. Life is unpredictable. No matter how much we plan, there will always be things beyond our control. The economy fluctuates, relationships change, careers take unexpected turns, and health can fail. If we rely on external circumstances for our stability, we will always be vulnerable to anxiety and doubt. But when our faith is rooted in something eternal, something that does not shift with the seasons of life, we can stand firm. We can walk forward with confidence, knowing that no matter what happens, we are held by something unshakable. Another powerful aspect of faith is that it gives us strength in times of weakness. There are moments in life when we reach the end of ourselves, when our own strength is not enough, when we feel exhausted, broken, or lost. It is in these moments that faith becomes our greatest source of resilience. Instead of collapsing under the weight of our struggles, faith lifts us up. It reminds us that we don't have to carry the burden alone, that there is a greater power working on our behalf, guiding us through every trial. This kind of faith allows us to keep moving forward even when we don't see the full picture, trusting that each step is leading us somewhere meaningful. Faith also shapes the way we see our challenges. Without faith, difficulties can feel like roadblocks, setbacks that leave us frustrated and defeated. But with faith, those same difficulties become opportunities for growth. They become moments where we learn patience, endurance, and deeper trust. When we have unshakable faith, we stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and instead begin to ask, "What is this teaching me?" Faith shifts our perspective, helping us see beyond the immediate pain and into the bigger picture of our lives. Another reason faith is so powerful is that it creates peace in the midst of chaos. The world around us is filled with noise, bad news, uncertainty, pressures, and distractions. It's easy to become overwhelmed, to feel as though we're being pulled in 100 different directions. But faith acts as a stabilizing force, quieting the noise and bringing a deep sense of calm. Even when everything around us is shifting, faith allows us to rest in the assurance that we are being led with purpose. It reminds us that we don't have to figure everything out at once, that we can take life one step at a time, trusting that we are on the right path. One of the most powerful aspects of unshakable faith is that it does not depend on circumstances. Many people have faith when things are going well, when their finances are secure, their relationships are strong, and life is going according to plan. But true, unshakable faith remains steady even when things don't go as expected. It's easy to believe when we can see the outcome, but the real power of faith is believing even when we don't. It's having confidence in the unseen, knowing that there is a plan at work even when we don't understand it. This kind of faith sustains us through life's toughest seasons, keeping us from being tossed around by uncertainty. Faith also gives us courage. In a world that often encourages doubt and fear, choosing faith is an act of bravery. It takes courage to trust when we don't have all the answers, to step forward into the unknown, to let go of control and believe that we are being guided. Unshakable faith emboldens us to take risks, to follow the path that has been set before us, even when it doesn't make sense to others. It allows us to walk with confidence, knowing that we are not walking alone. Finally, faith strengthens our endurance. Life is not a sprint, it's a marathon. There will be times when we feel like giving up, when the road ahead seems too long and too difficult. But faith reminds us to keep going. It reminds us that every struggle, every setback, every challenge is part of a greater journey. With faith, we don't just survive hardships. We grow through them. We develop a perseverance that carries us through every obstacle, giving us the strength to keep pressing forward no matter what lies ahead. Peace is something that many people long for, yet so few truly experience. We live in a world filled with noise, constant demands, pressures, uncertainties, and distractions that pull us in 100 different directions. The mind is often consumed with worries about the future, regrets about the past, and concerns about the present. It's no wonder that so many people struggle with stress, anxiety, and restlessness. But peace is not something that depends on perfect circumstances. Rather, it is a mindset, a way of thinking and living that brings stability even in the midst of chaos. Developing a mindset of peace begins with understanding that true peace is internal, not external. Many people believe that peace will come once they have more money, a better job, a stronger relationship, or a life free of challenges. But the reality is there will always be difficulties, uncertainties, and moments that test us. If our peace is dependent on everything going right, we will always be chasing something that remains just out of reach. True peace is not about escaping problems. It is about learning to remain steady in the midst of them. One of the greatest barriers to peace is an anxious mind. Worry has a way of creeping in, taking root, and consuming our thoughts. It often begins with a single concern about finances, health, relationships, or the future. And before long, it spreads into every area of life. Anxiety creates endless what-if scenarios, making even small problems seem overwhelming. The key to developing a peaceful mindset is learning to take control of our thoughts. Instead of allowing worry to dictate our emotions, we must practice replacing anxious thoughts with ones of trust, gratitude, and assurance. A major step in cultivating peace is practicing stillness. In today's fast-paced world, we are constantly moving from one thing to the next, checking our phones, responding to messages, rushing through our days with little time for reflection. But peace is found in the moments of stillness, in the spaces where we allow ourselves to breathe, to think, and to simply be present. Taking time each day to step away from distractions, to quiet the mind and to center our thoughts is essential for maintaining a peaceful mindset. Gratitude is another powerful tool for cultivating peace. When the mind is focused on what is lacking, on what is missing or uncertain, it naturally creates a sense of unease. But when we shift our focus to what we already have, our blessings, our opportunities, the small joys in each day, it brings a sense of calm and contentment. Gratitude reminds us that even in difficult times, there is always something to be thankful for. It shifts our perspective from scarcity to abundance, from fear to trust, from restlessness to peace. Another key to developing a peaceful mindset is letting go of control. One of the biggest sources of stress and frustration comes from trying to control everything: people, outcomes, situations that are beyond our reach. But the truth is, no matter how much we plan or prepare, there will always be things we cannot change. Trying to force outcomes or constantly worrying about what we cannot control only leads to exhaustion and inner turmoil. Learning to release control, to trust that things will unfold as they are meant to, brings a deep sense of peace. It allows us to focus on what we can change while surrendering what we cannot. Forgiveness also plays a crucial role in maintaining peace. Holding on to resentment, anger, or bitterness toward others creates a heavy burden on the heart and mind. Unforgiveness keeps us stuck in the past, replaying old wounds and fueling negative emotions. But when we choose to forgive, whether the other person deserves it or not, we free ourselves. Forgiveness is not about excusing wrongs. It is about releasing the grip that anger has on us. It allows us to move forward without carrying unnecessary weight, creating space for peace to flourish. Boundaries are another essential component of a peaceful mindset. Many people struggle with peace because they allow others to dictate their time, energy, and emotions. They say yes to everything, take on responsibilities that aren't theirs, and allow toxic relationships to drain them. But peace requires wisdom in choosing where to invest our energy, learning to set healthy boundaries, saying no when necessary, protecting our time, and surrounding ourselves with positive influences creates an environment where peace can thrive. Another significant factor in developing a peaceful mindset is aligning our lives with our values. Many people feel unsettled because they are living in a way that contradicts their inner beliefs. They pursue careers that don't fulfill them, stay in relationships that no longer serve them, or chase after success at the expense of their well-being. But true peace comes when we live in harmony with our purpose. When our actions align with our values, there is a natural sense of ease and clarity that replaces inner conflict. A peaceful mindset is also cultivated through patience. In a world that values instant gratification, we are often impatient, wanting immediate answers, quick solutions, and fast results. But life doesn't always work that way. Growth takes time, healing takes time, and good things often come through seasons of waiting. Learning to embrace patience, to trust the process, and to find peace even in waiting is a skill that brings lasting stability. Lastly, peace is strengthened through consistency. It is not something that happens overnight or through a single moment of clarity. Developing a peaceful mindset requires daily effort, consistently choosing to quiet the mind, to replace worry with trust, to set boundaries, to let go of control, and to cultivate gratitude. Like any habit, the more we practice peace, the more natural it becomes. Over time, it transforms the way we think, respond, and live, creating a life that is no longer ruled by chaos, but guided by a deep, unshakable peace. Anxiety is one of the most common struggles people face today. It creeps into our minds, often starting as a small worry, but quickly growing into an overwhelming force that can affect our thoughts, emotions, and even physical health. Anxiety can rob us of sleep, drain our energy, and make even the simplest decisions feel overwhelming. While it is a natural response to stress or uncertainty, allowing it to control our lives can leave us feeling trapped. However, anxiety is not something we are powerless against. There are practical steps we can take to manage it, reduce its hold on us, and find peace even in the midst of uncertainty. The first step in overcoming anxiety is recognizing its source. Anxiety often stems from fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of the unknown, or even fear of not being in control. When we take the time to identify the root cause of our anxiety, we can begin to address it in a more meaningful way. Instead of just trying to suppress the anxious feelings, we can ask ourselves deeper questions. What exactly am I afraid of? What is the worst that could happen? And even if that happened, would I still be okay? When we bring our fears into the light and examine them rationally, they often lose some of their power over us. Another practical step is learning to take control of our thoughts. Anxiety thrives when we allow our minds to dwell on worst-case scenarios, imagining all the things that could go wrong. The mind has a tendency to exaggerate problems, turning small worries into overwhelming fears. But we have the ability to change our thought patterns. When anxious thoughts arise, we can choose to challenge them. Instead of letting our mind spiral into negativity, we can replace anxious thoughts with truths that bring reassurance. We can remind ourselves that not every thought we have is true, and not every worry we imagine will actually happen. Training our minds to focus on what is real rather than what is feared is a powerful step toward overcoming anxiety. Breathing techniques and mindfulness exercises can also help bring immediate relief from anxiety. When we are anxious, our bodies react as if we are in danger. Our heart rate increases, our muscles tense, and our breathing becomes shallow. This physical response can make anxiety feel even worse. But something as simple as controlled breathing can send a signal to our brain that we are safe, helping to calm both the mind and body. Practicing deep breathing, inhale slowly for 4 counts, hold for 4 counts, and exhale for 4 counts, can instantly reduce feelings of panic. Mindfulness, which involves bringing our attention to the present moment instead of worrying about the past or future, also helps break the cycle of anxious thoughts. Focusing on what we can see, hear, and feel in the present moment helps ground us when anxiety tries to pull us away. A crucial step in overcoming anxiety is learning to let go of control. Many people experience anxiety because they feel the need to control every aspect of their lives. They stress over outcomes, worry about what others think, and try to plan for every possible scenario. But the truth is, no one can control everything. Life is unpredictable, and trying to control the uncontrollable only leads to more stress. Instead of fighting against uncertainty, we must learn to embrace it. Letting go of the need to have all the answers, to predict the future, or to control every outcome allows us to experience greater peace. It helps to remind ourselves that no matter what happens, we will have the strength to handle it when the time comes. Another practical way to manage anxiety is to create a routine. Anxiety often thrives in chaos and unpredictability. When life feels out of control, our minds tend to fill in the gaps with worry. But having a structured daily routine gives us a sense of stability. Simple things, waking up at the same time, planning our day, setting aside time for relaxation, and keeping consistent habits can make a significant difference. A routine doesn't have to be rigid, but having structure helps reduce the uncertainty that often fuels anxiety. Physical activity is also a powerful tool in combating anxiety. When we exercise, our bodies release endorphins, which are natural stress relievers. Physical movement, whether it's walking, stretching, running, or any other form of activity, helps reduce tension in the body and provides a healthy way to release pent-up stress. Exercise also helps clear the mind, giving us a break from overthinking and allowing us to refocus on the present. Even something as simple as a 10-minute walk outside can help bring clarity and relief from anxious thoughts. Sleep and nutrition play a critical role in managing anxiety as well. Many people don't realize how much their lifestyle affects their mental health. Lack of sleep can make us more vulnerable to stress, and a poor diet filled with caffeine, sugar, or processed foods can contribute to feelings of restlessness and anxiety. Prioritizing rest, drinking enough water, and eating foods that nourish the body can have a significant impact on reducing anxiety. When we take care of our physical health, our minds are better equipped to handle stress and worry. Another important step is setting boundaries. Many people struggle with anxiety because they take on too much, too many responsibilities, too many commitments, and too much pressure from others. Learning to say no, to protect our time, and to surround ourselves with positive, supportive people can help reduce stress and anxiety. We do not have to carry the weight of everyone else's problems or meet every expectation placed upon us. Setting boundaries is not selfish. It is necessary for maintaining peace of mind. Journaling is another effective way to process anxiety. Writing down our thoughts helps us organize our emotions, identify patterns, and release worries that feel overwhelming. When we put our fears on paper, they often seem smaller and more manageable. Journaling also allows us to reflect on positive things, what we are grateful for, what we have overcome, and the progress we are making. Keeping a record of our thoughts can provide clarity and reassurance, helping us break free from anxious cycles. Lastly, finding a source of spiritual or emotional grounding can provide lasting peace in the face of anxiety. Whether through prayer, meditation, or connecting with a supportive community, having something greater than ourselves to turn to helps keep us centered. Anxiety often makes us feel like we are facing life's challenges alone, but when we remind ourselves that we are not alone, that we are supported, guided, and cared for, it brings comfort and stability. Seeking wisdom, whether through personal reflection, spiritual guidance, or the support of others, helps us navigate difficult moments with greater peace and confidence. Overcoming instability and finding peace is not something that happens overnight, nor is it a one-time achievement. It is a continuous process of choosing faith over fear, wisdom over worry, and peace over panic. It requires intentional effort, learning to recognize the root causes of instability, cultivating an unshakable faith, developing a peaceful mindset, and taking practical steps to overcome anxiety. Each of these elements plays a vital role in helping us build a life that is no longer ruled by uncertainty, but anchored in confidence and inner stability. True peace is not found in perfect circumstances, but in a heart that remains steady, regardless of what life brings. The world around us may be unpredictable, challenges will come, and trials will test our resolve. But peace is possible when we learn to trust, to release control, and to focus on what truly matters. It is a peace that is not dependent on external conditions, but on an internal assurance that we are held, guided, and strengthened through every season of life. As we walk this journey, we must remind ourselves that peace is a choice, one we make every day in the way we think, respond, and live. By embracing faith, practicing gratitude, setting boundaries, and letting go of what we cannot control, we create a foundation that allows us to stand firm in any storm. And as we grow in this understanding, we not only experience peace within ourselves, but also become a source of stability and encouragement for those around us. So no matter what you are facing today, know that peace is within reach. It is not found in the absence of difficulties, but in the presence of trust, wisdom, and a heart that refuses to be shaken. Choose peace, walk in faith, and allow it to transform your life from the inside out.